freaking... Oh, I didn't start it because we didn't load it yet. So what are we doing here? Network's looking good. Okay, so this is... Let me go to my channel real fast here. I'm going to pause that, though, because I don't want to spend any rendering. Oh, I can't see the NVENC engine here. Hold on. Let's... Shit, I can see it here, though. Bring up Task Manager. Or 50%. That's cool. Lots of extra deaths, taking damage. That you're okay with at 4+ hearts. Yeah, plus the random effectiveness of the standard flag set is... I guess I didn't get a good gauge for how the life levels felt early on. I did take probably a few extra deaths than I wanted to. But that's just me being old and a retired consultant probably these days. Hold on, let me do this. But yeah, I mean, that is like the next step when it's like, that's definitely the next step. Okay, manual end stream. It's like whenever you get comfortable with 4 hearts, you start taking some resources away, and you know, how does that feel, and how you know, how much better can you get at blocking and dodging damage that you would normally just be okay with absorbing. And again, it's a little difficult to judge early on because all right, no dropped frames, because the random effectiveness. You might start off with a high, like, you never know. There's no way to read it. I don't know if the enemy damage groups get adjusted. I don't know about that. Wow, what is that about? Am I not in high power mode? We are. Oh, let me... Hello, mouse cursor? Let me start this up. You never know whether it's going to be like you start with a high effectiveness, a low effectiveness, and even when you get the next level, it can't go down, but it can stay the same. And I don't know how long it can stay the same for. Like life 1, life 2, and life 3 might all be kind of garbo. And then once you get to life 4, then things feel a lot better. Plus, where was Shield? Shield was far away, wasn't it? Shield was far in the east. So that was, yeah, another thing I could see contributing to, yeah, really having to not being able to rely on anything. And where did I see the first heart? Was that in the east? No. I don't know where I got my first heart. I only had 4 hearts. New Kasuto. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. That was it. Yeah, I never saw any of the other... I didn't see the 6th heart anywhere. Not that I was really looking. Could have been in 5. Could have been in 6. Could have been in one of the 2 caves out there. Could have been anywhere in DM as well. All right, so this quality test is going good so far. Let's modify this and kick this up to 30 megabits per second to YouTube. Is it gonna... Oh, do I have to stop? I have to stop it. It's gonna have a... If anyone's watching YouTube, we're obviously on a huge delay. 30 megabits per second, baby, to YouTube. Network is working well. Network is working well, baby. Again, this is just a boring test. We're just going to wait for the oven to preheat. We'll put the pork chops in, and then I'll continue my test. But this is what I wanted to really test. I did this a few nights ago when I first reinstalled the machine before I moved any further. This is really low. This music is amazing in this game. Before we moved any further in the reinstallation process, once I got Windows just booted up, first thing I did was pretty much set up OBS and jump into the YouTube stream and make sure that I could give it 50 megabits per second, which I could. Everything's looking good. We don't have any dropped frames. I'm going to try... There's like a kind of a problem here, though. It's, I think it's the order of operations. If I want to do Twitch... Hold on, let me add this in. Hold on real fast. If I want to do Twitch and YouTube... Oh, you switch my profile. Okay, copy that. What was I saying? If I wanted to do Twitch, YouTube, local recording, and Discord. Discord seems to be the tipping point, and I don't know why. I have no idea why. Did we not? Okay. All right, so we are at 50% of our encoding capability here currently. But again, this is... All right, so let's modify this. Let's go 40 megabits per second. We're just doing low latency, 2-pass, quarter resolution. Start. The NVENC still sits at the same amount, so it doesn't seem like bitrate is really a problem here. It seems like using up an engine, using a part of the engine for YouTube is specifically... like takes just a chunk, because at 20 megabits per second and 40 megabits per second, I'm using the same amount of my encoding engine. So Discord breaks if its accelerated graphics is on. So that's, hold on, am I going to get fog here? We're getting shitty environment, ENV clear. Yeah, I tried to test, I did tests. I don't know if it changes. Like, I feel like we were... so I should be moving around. I feel like I was testing to Discord, but I don't know if someone joining your channel and watching your stream puts more load on it. You would hopefully think it doesn't, because if you have one person watching your stream or 10 people watching your stream, like... there would be a huge difference. And would people be able to manage that? Like, a lot of people have like low-end machines that stream to like Discord, and certainly more than 1 or 2 people watch them. So it's like, I'm feeling like no. I'm feeling like the answer is no. Once you just turn on streaming to Discord, it is a flat amount of the encoder that's being used. But there are, like you say, there are options. There's hardware acceleration, and then there's the Open H.264 codec that they offer as well. And with Open H.264 turned off, I don't know what codec gets used. I don't know how to tell. When you look up Discord streaming, some people say it uses AV1. I find that a little odd that it uses AV1 if there's specifically a fucking option for Open H.264, which is not AV1, So I don't know where all of that information comes from. And I don't know how to check which codec we're using. So it's confusing, and that's why I feel like Discord is the tipping point. And right now we don't have any dropped frames, so this is good so far. I really wish I could have just an infinite fucking stamina mod turned on, so I could just run around. I could fly, but flying is a little too fast. Cheap viewers, get them redirect CRM blog. It's a blog. First time chatter. Welcome and goodbye. Okay, so yeah, it's always... I'm a little confused on how the Discord thing works, because Discord seems to be the tipping point. Because right now, again, we're doing the multi-track broadcasting to Twitch, oven's preheated, which is also known as enhanced broadcasting. So I'm doing the transcoding here for all the qualities that we see on Twitch. For any qualities that you see, 1080 should be 1080, 720, 480, 360, and like 160 or some shit like that. There's 5 qualities that should be offered. I'm doing all of that on my end here, and that eats through about 17% of my encoder, 17 to 20%. And then I turn on YouTube streaming, and that eats through, and I'm at 50% now. So that eats through another 30% flat rate. And so my assumption is that, and we're using HEVC right now for YouTube, not for Twitch. You can't do it for Twitch, only for YouTube. I'm hoping to get in the AV1 beta at some fucking point. I would love to test the AV1 beta because I got a fat pipe that can handle anything we want to throw at it. My gigabit pipe brings all of the boys to the yard. And if I just hit, let me check my local recording now. So presumably, local recording should take the same amount here because we're using the HEVC codec. It's going to be 50 megabits per second. I'm going to be at high quality, though. I'm going to hit recording. What's going to happen? Looking for dropped frames. Looking for dropped frames. Anywhere. We are pushing 80% of the encoder right now. And this is why I like to do this in Valheim, because it gives you this, you know, all these blades of grass, all this is a complex scene, which is really going to push the encoders. We're pushing... Oh, is there some choppiness on Twitch? I hope not. Oh, we are definitely pushing up the heat, though. Where is my fan? Where are my speeds? Okay. Anyway, this is just a great way to push the encoder. We do have a few dropped frames due to rendering lag and encoding lag. Watch out, dear. Oh, OBS is falling apart. What's going on here? Frame rate's dropping. What's happening? What? No, just go to tab. Uh-oh. Ooh, that was a drop there. That was interesting. What was that hiccup about? That was wild. Are we getting some choppiness on Twitch? I'm seeing a little choppiness in OBS. Let me change my local recording here to not be. Let's go low latency. Low latency, 2 pass, 50 megabits per second. All of that is fine. I mean, we could technically maybe drop the YouTube encode, although I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go to flying now because I don't want to be. Oh, I didn't start local recording. Man, I don't know. That was a weird drop. 92% we're pushing it. I don't really think I can do this. I might want to change to AV1, but I can't change the local recording codec unless I stop the Twitch stream. Getting a look at this water. Water is always the reflection, all of this stuff. Oh, another drop. Another drop in... What is that about, dude? I feel like we... There, see now we're getting drops on Twitch now. Why? Oof. YouTube's getting hit too. I'm going to modify YouTube's bitrate to 30. We're going to go ultra low latency to YouTube. We can just do a single pass. Let's just do a single pass to YouTube. Hit OK. Let me reset up. Let's reset. No. This is what I mean, though. Now we're dropping a lot of... I'm going to stop recording real fast. Wow, we're even getting choppiness in OBS. Man, this is not good. Am I going to have to get a second GPU again, dude? I'm going to have to throw a second GPU in there. It's also possible that the multi-track encoding is messing with this, because every time I tested before, we were only using standard one stream to Twitch, which I can't change on the fly. So I'm going to go ultra low latency. Single pass again. Listen, Shaddy, what is going on with the dropping here? Wow, we are like stuck. The encoder's choking on something, dude. Wow. So I think we're getting some dropped frames here. Did it recover? Did it recover? Did it clear out like whatever cash was left over? Okay, I think we might have recovered here. Anyway, listen, Chad, we were just, I just want to, we were showing this. We were showing these standings here just a moment ago. We were showing these. What's going on, man? What is happening here? $29.33. $29.33. Look at Opno point, dude. 3,200. Too much Mushi. Is that one of the YOLO games? Mushi? Is that top-down, that bullet hell game? Yeah, okay. Mushihime-sama. Mushihime, yeah, Mushihime-sama. Okay. Interesting, interesting. I'll excuse this, but I'm going to have to pull financial backing until the score improves. I'm just saying. Rat Boy is a buy now. Opno point, probably going to drop. You can't stay at 3,200 forever unless you never race again. Sub hour, too. So, oh, you got a 54. Who are we kidding? 53 for Drewis. GG Drewis on the times there. Anyone else got faster than 53? Doesn't look like it. All right, well, that's all right. We'll have a meeting about this later. Let's get back to the game. Let's see if I can break the standard encoder for a moment. I got to go put the pork chops in the oven. So maybe I'll just look at the pretty water and my dock. This is going to take a moment. So BRB. And then where's my name? My name, I don't, I'm a consultant for Z2R. Is what we do is we consult. We consult for Z2R, and that's pretty much it. But don't ask, do not ask me where my name is. BRB. Again, this is gonna take like solid 5 minutes to just put the pork chops on the thing. Do a little garlic pepper grinder as I destroy my wrist and my forearm because I pile that shit on because it's fucking delicious. And then we're gonna have pork chops later. So BRB. I gotta turn the AC unit on. It's getting warm. Wow. Definitely getting warm in here. Okay. So I don't have any other dropped frames, so everything's okay. Oh, the YouTube encoder is going still. Okay. So the YouTube encoder is going. We did drop it down to ultra low latency, but let's go. Man, what is with this game? Oh. It's just flying around. All right, so let's go back to start recording here. We're going to push the encoder up to 78%, 79. Come on, wheels. Okay. Looks like 82%. As always, apologies if it's a little difficult. I'm getting a lot of stuttering. I'm probably doing other shit, and the game doesn't have full. Wow, that's a lot of. That's me. I'm dropping some frames playing the game as well. Wow. Nope, there it is. There it is. It's falling apart. Kind of slideshowy. Is it going to recover, or are we just going to keep dropping? Man. I got to sneeze. It's all that garlic pepper grinder. Okay, I lied. I don't have a sneeze. Let me just push this with Discord to see what happens here. Oh, fuck. I think Discord's going to be running as admin. Dude. What? Where the fuck is the Discord button? Discord has to be running an admin to capture the OBS window that's running an admin as well. Post the chops on the Discord. I had in the past. They're not anything too amazing, I would say. Oh, and apologies. Yeah, we're still getting drops here. Let me kill off the local recording. I wish I could change from HEVC to AV1 on the local recording. Oh, let me try that here. For YouTube. We're going to switch over to AV1 on YouTube. Wherever that is. I actually got pork chops that are... it's impressive. Plus, what Muck is sharing in there, geez, man, I cannot compete. I cannot compete. All right, well, we have AV1 encoding on our side. Oh! Wow, that has definitely brought the load down. Okay. Don't let anyone tell you that size isn't enough. Hey, man, it's enough meat to fill me up, okay? That's all that really matters. Before it was maybe a borderline a little bit too much meat. Now it's just right. It's just, we've downsized slightly, and it's just right. With the side and some jardinera, it's just right. Anyway. So when we're using HEVC to YouTube, we're hitting 50. We're hitting 48 to 50% on the encoder. AV1 to YouTube is now 41% we're peaking at, 42, which is giving me an extra 10% here. And it's unfortunate. So the thing is, I never want to locally record at AV1 unless it's going to go direct to YouTube, because you can't edit AV1 footage. You have to take the AV1 file, put it into Handbrake, convert it to an editable format, a format that can be edited, and then you have to re-render it again. So you're already recording lossy into AV1. Then you're re-encoding it lossy into a format that can be edited. And then you're rendering it out from your editor in another lossy format. So unless you're encoding really high bit rate, you're probably going to start to see some real quality drop at some point. All right, so all that's going. I'm going to hit start recording on the local recording side. I've got about 18 minutes before these pork chops are done. And we'll see what happens. We've got 71% load. That's much better than 90. And that is 2-pass HEVC for local recording. Again, let's push this encoder. 2 4K streams. And then the 5 streams to Twitch. Now, I am doing one thing I did lose in my reinstall. In all of my attempt to troubleshoot my network problems, I did upgrade my BIOS. And unfortunately, I thought that my settings for my overclock were... What the fuck is this deer doing? It's a boar in the water, swimming. Okay. You lost, buddy? Maybe it's just hot out. What are you pissed at? Can you see me? He shouldn't be able to see me because when you're in fly mode, you're invisible. Because he would charge us otherwise. Oh, there's a grayling over here he's fucking with. Oh, is that what the problem is? Man. Anyway. Totally lost my train of thought there. Oh, the overclock. The overclock. So I lost my overclock, and I didn't really know my settings. I had some stuff written down, but it probably wasn't the full deal. And it gave me an opportunity to try to do a different overclock here. And so I had to redial in my overclock. Last night I did a big stability test. And it all worked out well. And my previous overclock was a 4.6 gigahertz all-core overclock, which was good, and I'd like to go back there, but it was also very warm, and we're in the summer months, and it was really kind of heating up the water in the water loop a little too quickly. Wow, my water temperatures are still going up. I don't like that. There's an alarm. There's an alarm on these pumps, which might go off. And that would be loud. And I can't turn it off right now because I don't have that software installed. So when I redid the overclock, I killed off my weakest core. You can tell what your weakest core is. There is sort of a grading process. And if you have a fancy motherboard with a fancy BIOS, and you go to overclock by specific core, you hit the button for that. You enter that in, you confirm that option, and then it kind of freezes the BIOS for a second. And anyone who doesn't know what's going on thinks the BIOS is just frozen. But what it's doing is it's it's doing quick tests on each of the cores to see. It sort of guesstimates the strength of the core. I don't know what fucking test it actually internally runs. I'm sure every manufacturer does something different. This is an Asus board. So however they test it, I'm sure is different than MSI. Or maybe Intel has a standard of the way that they test their cores as well. Because there is Intel software, I think, that can tell you the strength of a core. Anyway, I turned my weakest core off. And I did that because I wanted to maintain a nice overclock with a lower voltage. And right now it seemed to work. So I'm only running... I thought I would be running a 16 core, but Task Manager still shows 17 cores. I'm sorry, it shows... Okay, it's an 18-core 36-thread chip. So when you turn off one of the cores, my assumption was that the core and the hyper-threaded core would also disappear. But that's not the case. The core disappears, but the hyper-threaded portion of it is still there. So instead of having a 36-core chip cut down to a 30... instead of having a 36-core chip cut down to a 30... No, what the... Maybe I should turn off another core. Maybe we should just make it a 16-core. I don't do much on the CPU. I got this fucking 18-core chip over here because I was like, I want to do rendering and stuff over here. Dude, the rendering is a joke. Let me show you something. Is there anything weird? I don't think so. There's some old stuff in here. So let me bump this up to here. I did a rendering test last night. You might be able to see this. So it says render X265, render NVENC AV1, and render NVENC HEVC. And that was my stability test. I always use Handbrake and video encoding at a very slow and very efficient. Efficient not in terms of time, but efficient in terms of analyzing frame by frame and then doing the encoding. So it takes hours. So this render of a 19-minute video right here took 280 minutes to render out on the CPU. Then I did the HEVC test on the GPU. Same thing, not exactly the same settings because it's not a 1-to-1 X265 to HEVC in terms of CPU to GPU settings. But anyway, the GPU took 23 minutes to render the same 19-minute video. Again, at very, very sort of borderline placebo settings. And then the AV1 test took 14 minutes. So you're not going to be doing a lot of rendering on the CPU. And I really didn't need this chip, and it's been kind of a waste. And I've kind of regretted buying it because I've got a 12-core chip behind me that is very good. And I could have just left that chip in this machine over here and not bought this chip years ago. I didn't pay anywhere near retail. These are older chips. I paid like $300 for this thing years ago. And, I mean, it's been a fine chip, but I feel like I'm going to cut some of these cores out and get possibly a 4.6 overclock. When it needs to handle like bursty loads, that it can handle that, but with less cores. I'll cut the least efficient cores out, and it should allow me to keep a 4.6 overclock, maybe even higher, because I'll read your stuff in a second, Sky. Because last night doing my stress test, my AVX workloads are turned down to 4.2 gigahertz because those are your hottest, heaviest workloads, which is most of rendering. But look at these maximum non-AVX boost clocks that I hit, which is actually beyond my multiplier. Look at that last column. The 3 columns are current, min, and max. And of course, min is just going to be the idle speed. But the current, we were doing the render at that point, that's essentially 4.2. 4.8 gigahertz across all of the cores. And you can see the vid at the top. Not even 1.2 volts. Not even 1.2 volts. So that was all very exciting to me. I was like, holy shit, dude. Holy shit. So that was pretty crazy. We haven't dropped any frames, so I'm going to jump into Discord real fast. Not in a public Discord that anyone can see, but I'm just going to put this in my own Discord, OBS. We'll do 1080. Let's do 1080 60. Go live. Okay. NVENC load. See, the NVENC load doesn't go up. It's at 80%. It's not going anywhere. Did I turn off the settings? What do I have for my settings? Video and voice. Hold on, I will get back to this. We still have a few minutes to kill because I've got pork chops cooking. Hardware acceleration is on, and so is the open H.264 codec. Okay, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. What does Discord look like? Is it choppy? Oh, we're zoomed in. Oh, yeah, this Discord doesn't look that fucking bad. I do have a smaller window here. I can pop this window out and make it a little bit bigger. Pop out. Bring it over here. I can get the, oh my God, can we just full screen this? Okay, good. I'm gonna kill off the fly real fast so I can get a slower. Discord looks pretty good, man. For being a 1080 60 frame per second, it's got a little chop to it. But the blades of grass are fine, dude. I thought this would be a pixelated fucking blurry mess. What are they doing that Twitch isn't doing? Anyway, Yeah. I thought so as well, but I mean, I'm trying to squeeze as much as I can out of this chip because it's a Skylake X chip, and it's older now. You know, its IPC is well below what anything current can do, but I'm not about, like, again, I'm not really utilizing CPU on this machine, so I'm not really too worried about it. This end of this year, I think we're going to be looking at a 9950 X3D chip for the primary machine, and we'll figure out what we want to do with that, with the current chip and everything from there forward. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to get as much as I can out of this chip because I'm so far behind, and I just don't want to upgrade for really no reason. Which is another question: why am I concerned about being behind if I don't have to upgrade? Yeah, be glad you don't have a 13 to 14th gen chip. Yeah, all of that debacle going on. I almost went with a 13 or 1400, 14,000. 13. I almost went with a 13900. I think it was a KF or KS, which was the one that boosted to 6 gigahertz or something, which was end of the 13th gen stuff. Because I didn't want to go with 14th gen. I felt there were a lot of reviews that said 14th gen was just 13th gen all over again. There's no real difference. And you might as well just stick with 13th if you could, if you still have it. And I think I could find the 13900 KF or KS, whatever it was, for cheaper than the 14900K. And I almost went through with it. I was just like, man, I was like, I can't do this right. Like, I can't just justify buying a setup just for like Valheim and City Skylines. Although that's probably what we're gonna do later this year. But I feel like I have more confidence in AMD, especially after all this whether it's oxidation, whether it's whatever's happening, the oxidation / degradation of these chips. I saw the Wendell video. I saw the Level 1 Tech's Wendell video. I'm been watching Wendell since Tech Syndicate days, sort of here and there. But he does. I don't watch a lot. I don't watch a lot of hardware videos things these days because I'm just not in. When I get to be someone who's in the market for buying new shit, then I will watch and watch more stuff and read more stuff. But yeah, I still watch like the hardware subreddit, and that stuff popped up there, and I saw that and I was like, oh, what the hell's going on? And then the next video that Gamers Nexus did with him seemed kind of like a filler video. It seemed really unnecessary, but I think their video, GN's video, helped Wendell get his message out a little bit more, because Level 1 Tech isn't seen by everyone because they do a lot more technical shit, and GN is watched by more gamers and things like that. So I think that was probably a good move to make by them, just kind of talking about it again on Steve's channel. But I've been watching some of that stuff. I've been reading some of the articles. Intel recently released a few statements. Mid-August microcode update that was a little vague on what was happening with that and why are they waiting so long? Like, what's going on? People's chips are just continuing to degrade over the next several weeks. Good luck, everyone. And then they came out and said oxidation was part of a problem much earlier on. And I don't remember if they said they caught it or it shouldn't affect this. It shouldn't be the cause of this problem. And then recently, was it just yesterday or earlier today, they came out with another statement. There's like a questionnaire. I've got it up here. It's literally, nope, but it's right here. No recall. It's this right here on videocards.com, where they sort of go down this list of stuff like, will there be a recall? No. And then there's a whole bunch of bullshit talk in here, of course, where they're just like, will they share specific manufacturing dates and serial number ranges for the oxidized processors so mission critical businesses can selectively rip and replace? And then Intel's like, Intel will continue working with its customers on the VIA oxidation related reports and ensure that they are fully supported in the exchange process. So no, not really. They're just going to make it so that people wait until shit is broken, and then they're going to have to RMA. And the RMA process is, of course, crap, right? It's crap. They'll probably get their RMA, but You know, has Intel halted sales and or performed any channel inventory recalls while it validates the update? No. No. So it's like they know that shit is fucked and they're just gonna keep selling. It's just so fucked, man. It's so fucked. It's so fucked. I feel bad for these people, and I'm so glad that I just magically dodged a fucking bullet somehow by not purchasing it. That probably like 4 months ago or something. Maybe 3-4 months ago, I had a bunch of stuff in my cart, and I'm like, man, I can't do this right now. I don't have the funds. I mean, I do have the funds, but it's like credit funds, and it's like you paid off by the end of the year, but I'd rather not do that right now. I'm not really confident in this platform. I wanted to see more HEDT stuff, which honestly, the problem with the mainstream boards, there's just not enough fucking PCI Express slots. Like right now in my streaming machine, I have an Asus X299 Stage 2, which has 12? No, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. It's got 7 or 8 PCI Express slots. It's got a PLX chip on there so that it can do X16 in all of those slots. And I wanted that for the expansion because I was like, if I have to have 2 GPUs and 2 capture cards, and if I need something else to add in there, like I almost for troubleshooting the network stuff I was doing, I almost bought a network card to plug into the PCI Express slot, but instead I went with a USB dongle, and that was also showing the problem along with the NICs. So that's when I knew it was like a Windows configuration. But I almost thought I had to go, you know, and buy and populate more PCI Express slots. Thankfully I didn't, but yeah, I mean, you know, I wanted to have the streaming PC in case I need to add another capture card for some reason, in case we actually get like a fitness center in here. We have like multiple camera angles all over the place. I could add another 4-port 4K capture card without any problem because I've got so many PCI Express slots. But you need to go HEDT for that because you can't any like the mainstream platform stuff just doesn't have more than like 2 PCI Express slots. And it's like they keep boasting all this PCI Express 4.0 and now 5.0 is on the horizon if it's not already attached to some of the M.2 stuff. It's like, man, who gives a fuck? There's so much marketing garbage out there, man. But they're keeping that down. They're keeping those PCI Express stats down on purpose, even though they've got plenty of bandwidth now. Just so you go to the HEDT platforms. But Threadripper is expensive as fuck. What are you doing to my ship, you fucker? Hey. That's my fucking raft. Look at this son of a bitch. Get my fucking torch out. Hey. Hey. My raft is almost broken. Hey. 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 Fucker. Whoops. Whoops, not that. Isn't there a repair? Maybe not. We'll just let that sit there. It's still floating. This is Valheim. Side note, this is, I love this game. This game is $20 retail, just flat retail, not on sale. You can get it on sale for cheaper, but I bought this game when it first came out. I never knew about it. I'm not a survival game player because a lot of the time they're pretty punishing. Hold on. I gotta kill off the, gotta shut off the oven. Anyway, I'm not a survival game player. It's not really my thing. But when Valheim released years ago, I had a buddy say that it was like Viking Minecraft, and I'm not a Minecraft player, so it's like I didn't really care. And I was watching some video on YouTube, and then one of the recommended videos was something about Valheim is an amazing game. And so I just, after hearing my buddy say something about it, I was like, I'll watch this video. And this guy's like, dude, this game is so fucking good. And I was just like, I mean, it's $20. Let's just try it, you know? And honestly, dude, like, this is not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but I think this game is fucking phenomenal. I think this game is incredible. I will warn you, though, that the base game has, in my opinion, some problems. I I can't get very specific. First of all, I don't want to spoil anything, but second of all, I just don't know a lot about this game beyond the there's different biomes. Beyond the second biome, I don't know a lot about this motherfucker is chopping my shit down. I will. Okay. I got the torch out. Come here. Where'd you go? Come here. Come here. Fucking come here. Now you're on fucking fire. That's what you get. Come here. Okay. Solved. Okay. So, I started playing this game. I will say that the base game right off the bat, if you like the look of these graphics right here, this is with an HD mod. The grass and everything is very good looking. Everything, very high texture, very good looking fucking game. With this mod. Without this mod, it looks like Viking Minecraft. It really is very pixelated. You can already tell that, you know, there's a bit of the shaders they use. The look of it is already like very rough. It's not meant to look like, it's not meant to look super realistic like this, but this mod I think is almost a must-have. But you have to have a lot of VRAM. You have to have, it does kick up your GPU load a little bit, so you can't have like a low end or an older mid-range system. You're probably gonna have problems with this. I even have problems with this with the 3090. But it's really a CPU problem, which is why we were talking about CPUs. It's on a slightly older version of Unity, and so it's kind of a single-threaded game. When you start to build a lot of stuff, it really just chews through performance. Like, you will just have hardcore performance drops unless you have just a really great single-threaded chip. But this is some old stuff we had built back in the day. This is just something I load up to test. But this game, I think, is phenomenal because you can't die. Like, in the bottom left there is my health, and I've got some food that I can eat, but you never die. You'll never starve. You're never going to run out of air. There are some places where you can die due to environmental effects, but of course, I don't want to give a spoiler. You can obviously do things that will alleviate that and allow you to progress through those areas. They're meant to be a barrier to entry, and then you get armor or some shit, and then you're able to progress through these areas. So some things are you know, off limits to you at the early game, but this is the starting biome, and the whole game, the music is. We're fucking lagging again, dude. What is happening here? Okay, I'm gonna actually kill off Discord. Let me just get out of that. Does that fix my problem? I don't know. We're kind of bottlenecking it for a second here. Okay, I'm just gonna stop the local recording because I don't give a shit at this point. We're almost done. The test failed. The test was unsuccessful. I got to do more testing. But the game is so much fun, dude. The music is fucking phenomenal. At least in the first two biomes. The thing is that I don't know a lot about this game, and I've tried to avoid spoilers for as long as I could. Now, I know things about the game beyond where I've played, but I don't know the full progression. I don't know all of the materials. I don't know all of the crafting stuff that you have to make. I don't know all of that. I have an idea for a good amount of it, but still, I've never experienced it firsthand. And I've avoided this. Like, this game is a black hole of fucking time. And I just, because I know that if I start playing Valheim, it's going to be a problem to everything else I need to do in life. So I purposely avoid this game a lot because I know that I will just get sucked in. But recently I've been wanting to get back into it, and a big patch just recently dropped. They added a new biome, one of their last few biomes that they're adding to the game. It's been a long journey that they've taken this long to add all this stuff. It's still technically in early access, but the game is essentially feature complete, although they continue to add things here and there. It's not like you're going to hit a bump in the road 40 hours in or 100 hours in and be like, well, early access stops here. This is beta. It's not. There's a full game here, and you can progress through all of this. But just the whole setting is just, it's so fucking good. It's so good. It's so good. And maybe some of the later stages of progression that I've read about, maybe they're a little punishing and stuff like that when you got to craft certain items. Some of it is a little bit of a grind in single player, but you could do multiplayer in this. If someone, you can either host a server through the game you're playing, or you can host it separately on a server on a computer that you have separately, or you could pay a hosting service to host a server, and then people can join that way, and you can play multiplayer that way. And I was planning on firing up a server at some point in the next few months and getting things going and seeing what I could do, and then maybe opening it up to people. But the problem is I run a lot of mods, and if people aren't running the same mods, then things are fucked up in the world. And so it's like, if I'm running a mod, like right now, these buildings don't have any roofs on them because I don't have the old mod installed where I had roofs on here that used a different pieces from a different separate mod that wasn't part of the base game. And I didn't bother to reinstall all that stuff. And so when I show back up in this world, all of those pieces are gone. And so the same thing would happen, whereas if I build this out with a mod that uses special custom pieces and someone else joins the server, sometimes they are, but a lot of times they aren't. And so when someone else joins the server and they don't have like the extra build pieces, they just like break. Like there's structural integrity. Do I have a hammer? I don't have a hammer. There's structural integrity to all of your building and stuff like that as well. There's different, the pieces get different colored as you go up. Wood and different materials as well are stronger later in the game. Stone, I'll say stone, that's not much of a spoiler. You can build with stone at some point. But it's like, I don't do this, but some people will adjust the structural integrity and make it like infinite. So you can build like giant structures with no repercussions. However, if you have someone, if you have someone join the server and they don't have that turned on to where structural integrity is infinite, then all of a sudden the buildings will just fucking crumble in front of you. And it's like, what the fuck, man? So they didn't build the game that it's very janky in terms of multiplayer and mods. The game, the mods kind of get hacked in through an external program called Bepinex. If you've ever played Unity games, you may have heard of Bepinex. It's used in several other Unity games. But the authors, the developers of the game, they're not huge on mods. And so they really haven't given a lot. There's no official mod support. And so, so the authors of the mods, they have to really take some lengthy workarounds at times. Now, back in the day, there were problems like I discussed here, but nowadays you can load a whole bunch of server-side mods. They're not the build pieces though. The build pieces, there's still a lot of mods that are specific only to people, but you can now run the server to check people who are logging into it to say, hey, do you have these mods? Because if you don't, you can't log in. So you can do things like that these days, and you can have safety checks in place so where people won't be able to log into the game and log into the server unless they have that shit turned on, so they can't like ruin your builds and things like that. So that's really good. And I would run something like that, but I've never run something like that before, and I don't 100% know how to set all that up. So I'm not in a super rush to do it. I'd like to actually get back to City Skylines before we get back to Valheim. But anyway, I went off on a tangent there, but this game, I could talk about this game forever, and I barely have made it anywhere in this game. I've built, what usually happens is, well, actually we don't have to fly. What usually happens is I will end up just finding a location to build, and we will just build a whole bunch of shit. Again, we're missing roofs all over the place, but I'll build like taverns and inns, and this is what this was supposed to be with this back here. This is like an inn where there were like these rooms that nothing's furnished or anything. Nothing's furnished. There are no doors on the walls or anything. But this was what this was meant to be. Hey! Stop it. But yeah, I will just get caught up building for hundreds of hours. I will just build and build and build and build. And I'm not even a good builder. You can go watch some crazy Valheim builds. I don't have it up anymore. Oh, I do. This motherfucker. I was looking at this. Okay, stop. Where's like an overview shot of this? He shows it off. Yeah. Dude, people just go crazy with this. Come on, mate. We're like,
with limited space.
This guy's got some great build stuff, and I really want to take some inspiration from these builds. But they build with a lot of other materials. You're getting kind of spoilers for the materials. He's building in one of the early biomes, though. But yeah, I mean, people just build cool shit. They just build a lot of cool shit. They're very good at building. And the game turns into this for me. And this is why I've never made it past the second biome in the game, because I always just want to build some fucking village or some town or some fort or some castle or some bullshit. And I haven't progressed far enough to get good building materials. I'm always just building with wood. And you're kind of stuck. Wood only gets you so far. But yeah, once you mix in other materials. This game is great. Again, it can be a little grindy. I know it can be a little grindy later on, and I've heard it gets even a little worse. But that's why I use a lot of mods. There's a lot of quality of life stuff. Like, there's a smelter in this game, and I think, I haven't used it in a long time, but there's like, you like put in the materials, and then you wait for a second or two or however long, and then it spits out a bar. And it's like, you could only load the smelter with so much stuff. You might have collected a whole bunch of shit, but you got to stand by this smelter and sit there the whole time that it's doing all this smelting. And so there's a whole lot of quality of life stuff that I use that like allows you to just pump the smelter full of all of the stuff that you've gathered and walk the fuck away, and it'll just spit out all the bars over the next minute, two, or however long. Something like cooking in this game, you can only fit on the early game racks, you can only fit like 2 or 3 pieces of meat or something like that, or maybe 4. Maybe it's only 2. I think it's only 2. And I use a mod that allows me to put like 6 or 8 up there so that I can just hurry up and cook, so I don't have to spend fucking 15 minutes cooking my meat for food. So it's like, there's a lot of quality of life stuff that could really go into the base game. They don't have that. Maybe there are better cooking racks later. I don't remember what I've seen and what I've not seen. Sorry, the Famicom was still on. So there's just a lot. But I recommend the game if it looks interesting and you've avoided. If you like to build and you like to explore, I don't know if I should spoil the map, but the worlds, they're all procedurally generated. You get a seed, just like in a randomizer. You get a seed, and it will procedurally generate an entire world for you. And the world is way larger than anything you will ever explore, unless you purposely go out and explore it. The progression for the game does not require you to explore this entire vast globe. And you can skip probably 90% of it, maybe 80% of it. And it's just there because it's there. There are bosses in this world. And this is kind of a spoiler, maybe not though, but the bosses, they have multiple boss points. So if you feel you're getting lost, you can go in a certain direction. There isn't a specific direction you have to go in. Once you start sailing, you can just sail off into a direction and you will probably find what you need. But certain biomes are tied to certain bosses, so at times you will be looking for certain biomes, and you may be sailing off into the wrong direction. There may be more of that biome off to the east than there is to the west, but there's definitely that biome off to the west. The world's gigantic. Maybe we will just show the map here real fast. This is the world procedurally generated. I'm not going to show the top or the bottom, but it's gigantic. We are. I did this test, man, 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago. This is my guy down here in the yellow arrow, and I ran all the way to the tip here. It took, I mean, with all the terrain, the elevation changes, dodging the enemies and shit like that, it took 10 minutes to do all that. Plus I was running out of stamina. I was trying to do it like I was not cheating. So it took about 10 minutes to get up there. And so you think that it's going to take you quite a while to traverse this world on foot. And a lot of it is water. They have kind of weird, sneaky continents like this. There are mods that can change the way that these continents get generated though. But those are mods that are definitely client side. And again, if you go to thunderstore.io, you go to Nexus mods, there are a ton of mods for this game. And but if you're going to buy this game for $20 and jump in and try the modding stuff out, Understand that a big patch did just drop month and a half ago or something. And so if you go too far back in mods, you might be downloading mods that are not compatible for the current patch. You really got to watch out for that, because a lot of authors, they just kind of go MIA and they don't update their shit. And yeah, and then you're trying to load old bad mods and it's fucking up your world, you're fucking up your performance. So yeah, that's also another reason why I'm waiting a little bit while longer. I want to make sure that all the mods are out and compatible and ready for a world. But a lot of cool shit, man. This is a really fun game, and I really want to do this. This was another reason why I wanted to get the YouTube streaming down, because I feel like Twitch doesn't still. There's a bit of, when it comes to the performance, the graininess of the bitrate encoding, I feel is still just not enough. It's not enough for 1080. And if you watch this on YouTube at 1440 or even 4K, pinned at the top, you'll see that this is way, way clearer and way better looking. And so that's another reason why I wanted to get the multi-site streaming going on, because once we go to Valheim and stuff like that, I felt that Twitch is really going to let me down in terms of quality. And so I wanted to give people another way to view the game, unless they get me in the AV1 beta, which would be great. And then I can get 1440 and 4K through Twitch. That would be fine. But yeah, I've rambled on enough for this. We've got pork chops waiting. It's 1:24 in the morning. My pork chops are waiting for me. Yeah, check out Valheim. I hate to recommend things because people will be into all kinds of different stuff. If you're not sure, you fucking watch videos on it then. You know, watch some beginner videos and see what it's like. I'm sure you'll see the game looking worse than it looks here. Again, I think this game looks very, very good compared to its base textures. Very, very good. This grass is so good looking compared to the base textures. It's like Viking Minecraft, man. Building system is phenomenal. The combat system works well for me. It's basic, but it works well. And again, a lot of mods can change all this stuff, add all kinds of different craftables. Potions aren't in this game, but there's a mod to add potions and shit like that. One other thing that's a little annoying is that the food doesn't last very long. Like my strawberries, my raspberries here only last 10 minutes. It's like you got to sometimes forage a whole bunch of shit to go out on a trip, but you wish it would just last a little bit while longer. So you just get a mod to just fucking double the time or triple the time that the food lasts. And then you get to go out and you explore. You get to explore for more distance from your home base. But yeah, you don't start building like this. And this is a very basic build anyway. But normally you're chopping down trees, you're getting wood, and you're building a nice little hut for yourself to start off with. But yeah, I don't know. We'll get back to this at some point on stream. At some point, like I said. I did fire up City Skylines the other day to make sure that all my mods and everything was still working. All the saves are still there. Everything still loads. It does. So I was planning to maybe this weekend. I said that last weekend, but then we had these network issues. So this weekend, I think we might actually do some Mayor Marai City Skylines stuff. It takes a lot of work getting all these mods. Well, that's the thing, Shaddy. You just wait until we do the Valheim stream. I'll have all the mods listed. We'll just share the mods and you'll be like, oh, cool. Thanks, man. You won't have to do it. It is a lot of work. It can be a lot of work. There are a lot of work. There are a lot of mods out there. And you never really know what you like and what you don't like. But I have a base understanding of like what I would go for, what I might experiment with, and other stuff that I won't use. So not for you probably. All right, not much. That's fine. It's understandable. You can watch. You can live vicariously through myself during those streams whenever we do them. At some point in the future. But other than that, I'm gonna go eat some pork chops. Is anyone streaming? Any Zelda 2 action going on? Not really. Some enhanced stuff. We got Hispanic guy doing some Zelda 2. JC is streaming. Probably Zelda 2. He's in retro though. RPG Limit Break doing a little Final Fantasy 4. F. Coughlin. Why does Z2 exist? Oh, he's doing... Okay. What a hater. What a fucking hater. Nintendo World Championship NES Edition. What is he doing? He's doing Excite Bike. Okay, whatever. That's all I got. Folks. Upcoming races for Z2R Upstarts. Anyone scheduled their stuff tonight? Doesn't look like it. So up in the air on that. I think everyone's got another week remaining here, just one more week remaining to get some upstart stuff scheduled in. Anything else? I think that's it. I still got to do more testing on my encoding though, so maybe I'll be back later to do a quick test on the encode. I do want to try to get that out of the way, and it helps to do that in the middle of the night. So yeah, probably no more Zelda 2, but definitely some testing of the encoding. Anyway, Mirai streams. Mirai plays games. Mirai plays games. Although I think when we do the actual streaming, it might be on my other channel, Mirai Presents, which is this. Oh, I can't. What? Which is that? What the fuck? That's weird. Anyway, that's my other channel, where we would probably stream. But maybe we'll keep it on Mirai Plays Games. I don't know. Not gonna think about that for now. We're leaving, folks. We're leaving. Thanks for watching. Oh man, my YouTube stream is bouncing around a little bit here. I'll have to check out the quality. Peace out, gangsters. We might be back tonight with the bitrate quality test. No mic, no cam, probably. If not, we'll be back tomorrow. We've got more Z2R consulting to do, I'm sure. Maybe some City Skylines. I'm hoping to get City Skylines in, although I got to figure out how to create a starting point after all this time of not having streamed the game, and where to launch for how to move forward from that starting point. So, because we got some road networks to put in place. But anyway,